since last time we spoke, we've played some pretty good defense and had a lot of fun doing it, obviously, up there in Columbus. So with that, I'll open her up with questions.
Obviously, it's going to be a little bit short-handed. Been moving people around. What's the defensive line going to look like?
I think the guys that were backing up earlier in the year, they're going to get a lot more playing time, and that's going to be the challenge for those guys. Guys that are getting 6 to 10 reps a game are going to go up to 30 and 40 reps. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that. We'll have a lot of other younger guys that haven't had any chance to play that they'll get in the mix and be able to get in that rotation.
Is Rayshawn kind of the anchor in there?
Of course he is. Yeah. Rayshawn is.
Of those younger players on that defensive front, who's impressed you most in bowl practices?
Well, I think that Trey's, had a nice bowl prep. Eno's had a nice bowl prep. Ike, he continues to grow in his role. So, it's going to be exciting to see and fun to watch.
I do want to ask about the Ohio State game. And
I'm so glad.
Yeah. And the game plan and just, was that kind of what you expected? Obviously, maybe not holding them to 10, but the way that game went, it seemed like you guys were pretty confident in your game plan.
Well, we were really confident in the game plan, and our whole message was all week, let's take them to the deep end in the fourth quarter, and we knew then that we could take over the game defensively. So, I know there's been a lot of speculations about this and that and this and that, but all credit to the players. The game always has been, always will be about them. I'd come out with that on Twitter because that's what it was. We just physically outplayed them, and guys, when your best players are playing their best, that's when you have a lot of success. And you saw that with Makari's hit on the quarterback, and Ernest's hit on the quarterback that was sort of hidden that no one saw because it was on a read sweep play. He got him pretty good, and after that he started getting a little nervous back there. So the guys had a great rush plan. Lou had a great rush plan, and Kevin with the 4 up front. Lamar and BJ did a great job with the coverage aspect of it, just sticking to our game plan, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
Is that why you guys were so confident? Because just the players, given the fact that no Colston going in the game, no Will, and Vegas didn't give you guys much of a chance, right? 21, 22 points something.
That'd probably be illegal if I looked at the spread, but that's what I heard. We felt good going into the game of how we were going to attack them and give us some different looks that they weren't used to, and then when they started getting used to it, we went to a different look, and it kept them guessing and reaching the entire game. But you could see that Tennessee game what kind of explosive offense it was. So they're a very talented group, and it was just our day that day, and I'm glad we had it.
Did anything they do surprise you at all from their game plan perspective?
No. I know it was going to be a great challenge, with the receivers that they had, and our guys up front. They played really well against the run, and it was a fun game. It was a fun game to be a part of.
Do you feel like, I obviously don't know your grading, but do you feel like that was maybe your linebackers' best game so far this season?
I thought they played well, really, the last 5-6 weeks of the outside and inside backers. I think that's a tribute to BJ and Kevin and Fee, and just how they really anchored in on specific techniques and fundamentals throughout that period. And I think that it was a great win for us through some tough circumstances throughout the year. I think we ended up 14th or 15th in defense. I don't know what it was in scoring defense, but we've come a long way, especially like I said, those last 6 weeks, 5 weeks, what it was.
You talked a few.
Anything you learned about yourself about coaching in the college game over the course of the
No, it's football. I think that all gets, people make too much out of that. I think football's football, and I think everybody got comfortable. You had a whole new group of coaches, and the defense was putting in some tough situations, and they answered. There's no greater defense of sudden change defense than was in that Ohio State game. And situational football, we played really well. And when you play well, in situational football, all the different red zones, and third downs, and 2 minutes, and all those things, it goes a long way.
Different challenge, obviously, with Alabama. Talk about Milrow and slowing the run, and obviously that's got to be your point of emphasis, right?
Well, yeah, I think he's a great athlete, you know, and he can run the football, and he can also throw it too. You know, I guess I went old school. I said his arm's strong enough to throw a strawberry through a battleship, and everybody just looked at me like I was crazy. I said, never mind.
I get it.
No, he's got a strong arm, but you know, it's going to be a great challenge. They got 2 great receivers. Still available to them. It's going to be tough cover with those guys, and you know, with the different guys we have, it'll be interesting to see. You know, we'll find out a little bit more. It's fun watching these freshmen, incoming freshmen out here in practice too. I mean, that's exciting for us. So I think we're all going. I think we're heading in the right direction.
You talked about needing to build depth for the future. How do you think you're doing with the transfer portal and some of the guys you're
I
bringing
think
in?
we're doing a nice job over there, but it's not done yet. So you know, I think that we're getting what we need, and you know, we've got some linebackers coming in, some D linemen coming in, some other guys we're talking to, some DBs coming in. You know, those guys, those position coaches recruit their tails off, whether it's portal or high school kids. It's inspiring to watch.
TJ and Mason and Josiah they've all said recently that you did change, that you were, you know, maybe it was they felt like you were talking to 30-year-olds initially, but that you evolved. Do you think that that's?
I think we just got to know each other, you know, whether they think that's changed or not. I think sometimes when kids hear the truth, they don't like hearing the truth sometimes, and initially that's what I gave them was the truth. And I said at the beginning of the year, this is going to be a different year. You know, not knowing how different, but, you know, just going through the spring and everything else, I said it's going to be a different year for you. You're going to have some more challenges. And, you know, some kids like hearing that, and some kids don't like hearing that. You know, nothing's automatic in this great game. And, you know, I think that you saw a bunch of kids that come together and said, you know, we're going to play our tails off and take care of what we, you know, what we handle, what we can handle, you know, and you know, that's all they can do. So I think that it was a great experience for them. It was a great experience for me. It was a great experience for the staff. It was one of the most rewarding experiences that I've had personally in coaching, just because of where we came from. And so I think that the future is bright, and I'm looking forward to it.
Was there a moment you thought the switch flipped for this defense?
Probably second half of Oregon. And, you know, I think it just kept building. You know, in Indiana, I thought we played really well. I think they have 18 yards in the second half. But the thing that the players finally realized was when you hit a quarterback, like we were hitting quarterbacks, Northwestern, Indiana, you know, those quarterbacks, once they start getting hit, they're a different quarterback. And I think that was one of the biggest lessons defensively that they learned.
Will Howard serve a few more?
Got time for a few more questions.
Your perspective, I mean, Michigan's bringing in Keene, the quarterback from Fresno State. What was your perspective on him?
I called him broke man's Kyler Murray. I mean, I think he's a very talented kid that's accurate on the run. We know he's tough because we hit him. Mm-hmm. I mean, we hit him, and I'm excited that he's a part of our squad now.
What do you like about Jay Sean at rush end?
I think, you know, that's one of the things he wants to look at. I think that he can play inside or outside. I mean, that's one of his best traits, is what he can do. But we know one thing: he's a football player, and when the lights turn on, he's a mean football player. And it's fun. I'm glad he's on our side.
So you sort of told the players this year was going to be different. I don't know if next year is too far out.
Yeah, it's too
to sort of
yeah, it's too far out. It's going to be different because every year's different, and you know, but it could be different in a different way. You know, I think you know, with the 2 quarterbacks that we have in here now, I mean, they're fun to watch, and it's going to be exciting to see how this all comes together. But that's what off season's for.
What are your thoughts about Bryce?
Oh, I mean, he can sling it. I mean, Stevie Wonder could see that. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Does Derek Moore have another gear yet?
Yeah, I think Derek was banged up, so I think he will have another gear, just as anybody that gets a year older, another year of experience. I think that you know, he had a lot of almost sacks this year, where he slid off the guy, or what he did was free up Josiah or whoever it was, you know, to get to the quarterback. He's a very selfless player, and I think both he and Cam are going to be fun to watch. They're going to be there.
Did you know Chip
TJ.
Lindsey before?
No, I did not.
So how have you
Great.
a lot of
Great.
conversations?
Yeah, we've had a lot of conversations already, and it's good. You know, that's anytime you bring in somebody new and see a different perspective of offense or defense or special teams. It's fun to get to know that guy and see how it all comes to play.
Any early enrollees that have really caught your eye yet, or is it too soon?
No, it's too soon.
Okay.
It's too soon.
And just can you talk about the progress of them all this year from week 1 to the last?
Hadn't it been great? It's been great. I mean, the last 2 games, I mean, he just really just showed up and put it on his shoulders, and it's been fun to watch.
All right, guys. Last question because we gotta get B Hill and these guys in before practice.
Where do you see Zeke's future? Where he can play?
Wherever he wants to. Yeah, he showed the versatility, and it's wherever. The great thing about Zeke, it's wherever we need him. So.